Andrew, where did you didn't go to school with John, right?
No, you met.
No, I met his phone later.
Well,
Yeah, I met
maybe
him.
Alright,
should
well-
we fill in the backstory first, or just on video?
We can discuss everything on video. That's the idea. Discuss everything, and we'll go back and it'll get cut into segments later. But the one thing that Kirsten wanted me to remind you to is, and I'm just gonna read the way that she
Yeah, well, I'd like
She
to know how
sent
she.
it-
I'd like to know what
she sent it to me.
Yeah, I'd like to know what she would
Alright.
like
Okay.
to see. Yeah.
Are we rocking?
Sure.
Alright, so okay, number 2, when you ask Chris a question, Chris or whoever, a question, make sure that he answers using the question, meaning, if you say, how did you meet,
Jeopardy, yeah.
how did you meet John,
Oh, I met John.
make sure you say, I met John so-and-so,
I got it.
because
Cool.
my
cool.
questions are not going to be in the edited
Cool, no, I
final
got you.
video.
Yeah.
And if you just come
No,
back
I
and
know,
you say,
yeah, and it's like, I get you. That makes fucking perfect sense.
Right,
I love it.
right.
I love it. Yeah, no, that's perfect. No, I get you. That's what I was asking. How should we format?
the other thing she said, and I'll just read it out loud so that you know. I have an email I recently got from my editor about another project. I'm adding it here because he says some pretty good stuff that is helpful for this project. Here it is. As a doc editor, I'll give you my 2 cents on a few things. You can really plan a doc so much. So if you have a big picture you're just going to kind of have to figure out what questions you're trying to answer and then just shoot a bunch of shit while keeping those questions in mind.
Yeah.
Well, not me, because I'm anal. So I've been writing stuff forever,
I'm
but
glad,
that's
I'm glad
me.
you did, yeah.
He says, so get over all that. People also sometimes tend to over-stylize their documentary story, and then it becomes really hard to follow. So I also suggest not getting too outside the box actually with it when you are shooting. Docs need to make sense and not be confusing to people, so just make sure you actually have the story or theme that makes sense and actually elements that you could need to tell a digestible story.
She's being a bit
Some,
esoteric.
and then here's, sometimes the camera has to stay recording for like 20 minutes before something actually happens.
Right,
you just kinda
right.
need
You
to
want
just-
you want the quotable moments, yeah.
Right. And I mean, that's pretty much...
Well, that's what I'm trying to limit it to.
we-
Is I'm trying to go for like nothing but
Right,
quotable
and we
moments.
hashed it, we hashed it out, everything will come later. Okay, so are we...
Okay, yeah, now we're gonna record. Now,
Alright,
start
so
on
let's
the-
go.
I'm trying to not have a bunch of crap here that she's got to weed through,
And
Don't
don't
worry
worry
about
about that. I mean, if anything, I can, scoot over, but don't worry about the crap. She's assured me it's amazing what you can do with editing.
Right, but I don't know. Across like a-
Don't worry
You're not
about
going
it. Just do it.
You're not going to. She's not going to make anybody look like a,
No, I'm not saying. I just don't. I can make myself look like a dumbass.
Don't
Oh,
worry
I
about
don't
that.
like it.
Alright?
She'll
And
cut
don't
it out.
say that.
Sorry.
Alright? Okay. Ready to go.
We're ready. Okay, so just to start with, since you and I grew up in the same generation, same neighborhood, same people, if you were discussing to a complete stranger what our friends were like and what we were like as teenagers, how would you describe us?
Wow, it was great, about our crowd, the group we hung around with was the fact that all of us, none of us were like popular kids or any of that
Very
sort of
true.
thing, and we were, not misfits or anything, but just we weren't popular kids, but all of us had something, we brought something to the table. I mean, all of us.
I think Misfits would be open for today.
Well, yeah, hey, I ain't gonna debate that one, but, hey, it's all in, that's, to be, loosely interpreted, but, I mean, all of us brought something to the table, because all of us were incredibly, intelligent, and had different, various ways of expressing it, be it drawing, playing music, telling jokes, whatever it may be. We all
Like
had,
we discussed the other night about being a very creative
yes, we
bunch.
were a very creative lot, yes.
in one way, shape, or form or another. So if you pretend I'm a 10-year-old kid, and you're trying to really paint a picture of me, John, Rob, Dave, the whole Coral Reefers bunch, and you're filming a movie. What are you seeing? I mean, what are you seeing?
A bunch of, pretty much a bunch of dorky kids, hanging out, having a good time. I mean, that's, basically what it was. I mean, Lord knows, man, I've been, 6 foot high and 100 and nothing pounds for, a long time. So I was certainly not a jock or anything of that nature. But, I mean, I don't know. It was just a creative thing. That's what connected us all, was the creativity thing. Was the fact that we were all able to crack each other up, or
In school, you know how like the movie The Breakfast Club.
Shitty movie, by the way, but
You really think it was a
God,
shit?
it was awful. Or, yeah,
Too deep, right?
no, it was
Definitely
too
not.
shallow. Actually,
Oh, s-
I hate
we
the-
all know that there's truth to that movie, though.
Oh yeah, but it was
Because
the brat.
everybody was divided into little groups.
Oh yeah, of course, glitch, but it was the Brat
Okay,
Pack.
so
with
you
my
had,
age.
right, okay,
Yeah.
so you had what? You had the jock, you had the,
No, there were no
Rich
jocks among.
kid?
There weren't no jocks among us.
right, no, that's what I'm getting at. What category did we fall into? The John Bender group,
The
the stoners and the,
well,
and
I
the,
can't. I honestly don't know what reference that is, but honestly, in response to your question, I can say that as far as us as a group, I would say we were always like the creative, quiet, brainy types, when it came to being around the social majority, the mainstream type, because we were always like considered the freaks and whatnot.
right, that's it, the freaks.
Yes,
The
we were
freaks
the
are the
freak-
burnouts.
The freaks, the
So what they call the
burnouts.
burnouts.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Regardless of whether you
Right.
did drugs or not.
Right,
We
you
were
fell into
considered
the
a burnout.
rocker group.
Rocker
You're
groups,
the
stoner,
rocker groups,
yeah.
the stoner groups,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Now, something that I think just covers all of us is we were a group of displaced youths that were born 10 to 20 years
Yeah,
later
than we should have been. Oh, absolutely. I know myself and John as well. I mean, we always knew that we were not in the right, we were put on this earth, later than we were meant to have been. And it's just, that manifested itself through the way we just lived. I mean, like I said, we all, played something, drew something, we could, tell a good joke or, whatever the case may be. But we were always, generally in an age of computer games and everybody's hanging out at the arcade and doing dumb shit.
Absolutely.
We were sitting around, telling
Absolutely.
jokes and playing guitar and amusing ourselves.
We all had one thing in common too, aside from the creativity, and I really think that was the music and how nostalgic we all were. we weren't listening to the new
Oh
crowd.
God, because the era we grew up in, there was nothing but crap. I mean, come on, the mid '80s, the '80s in general was a musical vacuum. I mean, what are we gonna do? Listen to Huey Lewis, man? I mean, come on. There's Led Zeppelin out there.
Okay, but
You know,
not
I
all
know.
of the 80s bands were bad.
But let's just say the vast majority, because there's Stevie Ray Vaughan who came around, and by the way, Stevie Ray Vaughan on my shirt, which John Russell gave me, by the way, as a present. Thank you, brother. But
I didn't even realize that was on your show.
that's the purpose of me wearing
He
it.
didn't like the 80s bands.
No.
In the 80s.
No,
That group of people and those, that genre of movies that came out,
Oh yes.
He didn't like them.
It's
They were very popular.
It's a cultural vacuum.
and they're good movies, they got good stories and all that, but,
It was a cultural vacuum.
right, we were looking at stuff from the 60s and 70s, you know.
Okay, well, right. No, that's what I'm saying.
And
we
not
didn't
watching
go around
TV and stuff.
dressing up
Right.
like Madonna and Boy
Some
George.
people
and,
did. Some people
Of
did.
course they did,
Yeah.
but not our.
Not
Yeah.
the, yeah, not
Oh no,
Not our
that was what was
Right.
exclusive about
We're-
our little.
the pop
group,
culture
you
was
know?
what it was. It was
We
and
we
were no part of
maintained.
it.
Yes,
no part
we
of it.
we wanted no part of that.
No part
You
of
know,
No.
we wanted no part.
But
of
what-
that.
it. We were touring with the Grateful Dead. and stuff.
Grateful Dead, exactly.
And
Thank
they were
you.
very popular.
And they were,
And
but
so was
they
Cyndi
were,
Lauper. and
Did you
at
tour with the Dead?
I went a couple shows, not as much as Russell and Chris and John did, but yeah, I went a couple times.
Yeah,
Tell me
I
about
went-
the. Okay, to be honest, I have to be honest. I was never a Dead fan.
Neither
Never,
was I.
And you wouldn't have
never.
been a part of our group.
Never. No, I was, but I
Neither
just
was
the
I.
Dead was
couldn't
not my
stand. I
thing.
couldn't
And if
stand
I
the
had
music.
to
I
be-
just loved to sing.
Well, yeah, you could, yeah.
Well, no, because if I heard Sugar Magnolia one more time, back then
Oh,
I
we-
was gonna vomit.
We didn't like the
Really.
popular
Thank
ones.
you.
Yeah, Casey Jones, everybody hated
Yeah,
those.
It was
Yeah.
the rest.
That
I
would
get
make-
It was all the
I
other good
Uncle
music.
John's band.
Watch out, don't
Truck,
kick the
yeah.
rug, because it'll move the camera.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll move the camera.
Do I have one of them?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
is that what this is?
You must drink. You must drink.
So you went on
Grateful Dead
Tour,
tour.
yeah.
Yes, 85 through 1990 90 or 91. I forget when I dropped
you
out.
went on the road for 6 years?
No, every
No,
year
no,
they have
every
like,
summer
tours
tour,
every summer.
summer tour, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
summer tour
Oh,
was
I
a
see.
ritual.
So you're talking a couple of months.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
anything
no,
about
no,
those.
seriously, I'm just explaining summer
Well, they had
tours.
the early shows, like spring shows,
Yeah.
and then all the way to the fall.
Yeah,
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 some
they-
people followed all, yeah.
Oh yeah, they
Most
were
people
yeah,
had a job that
they-
can only go
but,
maybe
yeah.
5 or 10 shows.
the
But
kids that were living in their VW
Some people,
buses,
that was
they
their
were-
life. Yeah.
Because they had fall,
Deadheads.
winter, spring, summer tours. I mean, they were cashing in on that thing. They weren't good. They were milking because they weren't
How-
making shit out of the
So
studios.
roughly over a summer tour, how many
how many shows?
shows are you talking about?
Like 20
Like 20
per
shows.
tour, something like that. Maybe more, maybe 30. Yeah. And then later in the fall tour was another 20 or
So
whatever.
it was weekend to weekend. Or
It was like
no,
some nights
there's
they
weeknight shows. You'd have probably
they'd go to
3, 4
Atlanta and they'd
shows.
do 3 or 4 shows
Yeah,
in
you'd have
Atlanta.
probably
Then
maybe
they'd
3.
go like to North Carolina and do 3 or 4 shows there. Then they'd go to Madison Square Garden and do 5 shows there.
Right,
You
and
know.
they'd have generally, I
Yeah.
mean, if you were touring with them and just following them around, you would have 3, 4 shows a week, you know, unless they were doing a run in a major city like New York, where they would do 5, 6, 7 nights in a row. But if you were just on the road, it was 3 or 4 nights a week, and you would follow, you know, they do Philadelphia, and then you'd go,
I think that's your
Wednesday
friend.
night.
I think your friend is here.
Wednesday, okay, yeah, okay. Who do you turn off then?
No, keep talking. Keep talking. They can edit all that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyhow, I'm sorry, but
Okay, so no, you're talking about a schedule. So did you ever go on the road touring the Dead with John?
yeah, absolutely. We did. As a matter of fact, we did a few runs. The first one, I believe, was '88. We went
Which would have been the year we broke up.
Oh,
Well, we
okay.
broke up. I mean, not that it matters, but that was my senior year, and that was the year we split.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Please.
So,
So go on.
I darn it, I missed the death. Anyway, okay, so go ahead.
Anyhow, 88
So
really
88.
sticks out in my brain because it was great because we went up to, we traveled, you know, John and I, he was driving his mom's car, this big old boat of an LTD, and
I remember.
the gold one,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. And he was driving that, and it was me, him, this cat Dorian, and another guy, Sagen.
I remember.
Good dude,
now.
yeah, Sagen, you know. And we rode up there in Sagen, man, his feet smelled, man. We made, you know, we were stuck in a hotel, man. We made him leave his shoes in the hallway. And somebody stole them, but that's another story. But, no, we went up 88, first time. It was the spring tour. We went up on, to Atlanta to see them, the Dads at the Omni Theater. And it was apparently, I don't know, because I was not there, or I was there, but I was not in the show.
Don't do that.
But, so I was adding emphasis. 'Cause
You were there, but oh.
I had scored a ticket in the parking lot, cost me $35, $1988.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, $35, and I had a ticket in my pocket, and somehow when it came time to go into the show, the ticket was gone, and I ended up
Oh, you lost.
tripping my balls off and very angry in the parking lot. So,
Well, think of another time. That's a
Something-
happy time. with
something-
John.
yeah.
well, she asked a question, I was just answering.
Yeah, something, I want to say I heard that story before.
Oh yeah, because it made me
I'm
mad.
pretty sure. Well, yeah, I'd be
I
mad.
got stuck in the parking lot and tripping
So
with
you-
no ticket.
So you went,
What a show you got in. Tell yeah.
Hey, well, the following night at the Omni, I managed to make it in that evening,
Oh,
and,
cool.
and one hell of a that was one hell of a show right there.
so that was 88, did you guys do,
Oh, hey, what's up?
89, 90, 91.
and all those you did with John?
Yeah. Those we traveled, you know, from place to place, and you know, we did summer. It was East Coast, you know. No, actually, we did do a bit of West, you know, Midwest, and even into the West. No, we did make it to the West because I remember seeing a show in Berkeley.
Do you know how many different states you went to? If you had to think about it, or you have to look at them out?
I had to look at a map. There's a lot.
We'll do that,
I mean,
remind me and we'll
100,
do that.
you
You
know,
know what,
100.
I'm gonna write that down.
100 and
I have no idea, Colorado?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, okay, well
Takes
see, you're
a
not
minute
as
to
dumb as
think.
you thought you were.
I know, but it takes a minute to think about it, though.
I'll find out. Alright, you made your point.
Yeah, okay, thank you. But,
You
no,
made your
either way, in response to the question, Miami back then, I seen a bunch of shows at the old Miami Arena, which they bulldozed, and it's completely gone now, to make way for another arena 2 blocks away that's pretty much the same thing.
Right, yeah.
Only it's further away from the black area. So, anyhow, we saw them there at the Miami Arena many times. Hey, you know, but it was, you know, the Miami Arena was a beautiful place because Dead played there a bunch of times, and there was, you know, the parking lot outside, and
Sure.
it was and there's a bunch of, you know, rich white hippies, you know, trust funds and stuff, and a lot of them were Jewish. I don't know whatever that means, but I mean, they would be boogieing around in the parking lot, and it's swarmed with black people looking for spare change and stuff. And I think that's why they tore it down. But anyhow, we saw them there a bunch, and I digress. And
So you did the East Coast.
yes, we went Miami, Orlando sometimes, Atlanta, and then it would be, the next one up would be, New Jersey, or no,
Carolina,
I'm sorry,
South
no,
Carolina?
no, most times they didn't hit that. They would hit they did stadium in the summer, like we were going, it was all the stadium shows. So, they, at that point, it usually was, you know, the Omni in Atlanta, and then it went up to DC, where they played RFK, and then it was up to, whatchamacallit, New Jersey, where they played Giant Stadium.
Okay.
And then, Giant Stadium. And there's Foxborough, Massachusetts. And I want to say, oh wow, I forget actually.
Okay,
From
I
there,
get the
no,
point.
actually no. From there, after they got done with the Eastern Seaboard and they hit the north part with Massachusetts, where they would go was Deer Creek, Indiana. And then they would go from Deer Creek to Alpine Valleys, and they would go from Alpine Valley, they would hit Colorado, and they generally do Red Rocks, which is a jam-man place to see the Dead.
Now, Andrew, did you go on tour with the Dead with John?
Someone in Orlando. I went to the Orlando show.
Yeah, he was.
And I went with him to the Miami show. A couple Miami shows. Yeah.
Because we need you.
I said, welcome our
to
special
finish.
guest.
Yeah. And,
Okay, so you did do a couple of Dead shows.
Yeah, remember that time we went with
Absolutely, we
with
shared
Denise,
a
I
hotel
think.
room.
Denise was there.
Yeah.
Denise and John.
God rest her
And
soul.
Denise died just
Yeah.
a couple months ago.
December 30th, 2015.
Yeah.
R.I.P. But
Anyway,
we
yeah,
digress.
I brought that beer, that tanker, the beer that I made at my house.
Yeah, dude, and it
What
made
year was
Russell
this?
kill. It made Russell.
83, 84, something like
It
that.
made-
So you knew John and
In
John
the
and
80s,
the
yeah.
Yeah, and we
And-
went. And we
and
went to
South Miami,
Orlando.
when they used to hang out in South Miami.
How did you meet John?
Through Chris and Tom Roman. Tom Roman lived in South Miami, and he was friends with Chris and Russell Kelly, who also lived in South Miami at his mother's house. Really nice place. They made a bunch of mansions on the property. It was really cool. Had that stone house. Remember the old stone
Oh
house?
man, that was awesome.
Yeah,
And
and
the
John
original-
Russell would
the
go
original
there, and
property
you
was
guys
awesome.
would go there and hang out.
Yeah.
And visit Russell and Doug Kelly also.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Back
you
in
were
the 80s.
so you were interviewed
Yeah.
by personal friends. Okay.
Yeah. Well, everybody
And
knows
Chris
somebody.
went to school with him.
Chris
That's
went
what I
to
mean.
school, right? You both went to a high school.
That's high school, hell, elementary school.
Which one was
We
it?
met actually. The origin would be in the summer of 1975 when we were between second and third grade. We were 7 years old, going on 8, and we met. And I remember I really liked John a lot because he was a cool guy, of course. And then there was the fact that he could. That summer, the movie Jaws came out, and they had this iconic movie poster where the big old shark's coming up underneath the naked girl swimming on the surface of the water, and he could draw that perfectly, and therefore I was fascinated. So,
Do you have a favorite memory of John, or a favorite John story?
Well, I don't know. I went and visited him in Texas 4 years ago. That's that picture right there on the wall behind you.
Mm-hmm.
We had fun. We went to Garrow's in Austin. We saw a show there. We saw a friend of mine, Tony Scalzo, with Texas Tycoons. And we had a good time that day. I was in San Antonio. I'd driven there from San Antonio because Austin's not that far. And I talked to John and said, come on up for lunch, you know. And I was there for a week anyway. Yeah, we had a good time. And that was the last time I saw him. Because he didn't, no, wait, no, he came back and visited one time.
In 2012.
Since, yeah, right, and it's a year after, so,
2012.
one of the last times I saw him, yeah. But, I didn't hang out all, back in the 80s, I knew him and all that, but not as well as Chris. I didn't hang out daily or nothing.
Right.
We used to go see him, when he'd come visit either Doug or Russell or Tom, and I'd be around.
Well, John was, more my crowd, man.
Right. Tom is Tom.
And Tom was your crowd.
Well, yeah.
You can have him.
Andrew, can you name 3 things in common that you have with John? What were 3 loves that you shared
Music.
together?
Music, because John was an excellent guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
And I have some clips of him here on Christmas. He came to visit, and me, Chris, and Louis Sid are playing in this room, and we made a video. Yeah, and John was playing. He was real good.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I remember that.
We used to jam, yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sorry to
Well, Chris
interject.
was here too that day.
I'm sorry to interject, but this is a cool story.
You
about
know,
John.
I just want to make a little note for myself on here. Check to include the YouTube video that you guys made.
Okay, yeah,
on
there's a
Tuesday.
link there
Well,
somewhere.
what I was going to say
That's just a
was-
little note to myself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interject, but what I was going to say was the fact I remember when he was talking about John coming down here, and we were sitting here jamming, and it was John, him, Louis, myself, and John started. We were all playing for a while, and then John grabbed a guitar and started playing, and then everybody stopped, and we were just watching the dude. And if you look on the video, you'll see that everybody just stops what they're doing, except Andrew, of course. He stepped and kept playing an irritating rhythm the whole time. But
Well, not as irritating as yours,
no, I wasn't playing anything at that point. I was watching.
but
the
when
dude.
you played,
I was
it
watching the dude.
irritating.
Yes, it was bad.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so besides music, what was
Music,
2 other loves that you
going
shared?
on tour, seeing bands and stuff. We had that in common. I don't know, love for life, things like that.
Do you think John had a love for life?
Sure, yeah, he did. He always, even when he had hard times and made mistakes, he came back from it and did better.
Yeah. What is your favorite piece of artwork that you've seen that he's done?
I like when he did, Lewis has it, it's a guy in a bucket going over the edge like an abyss, from a Grateful Dead,
Phil
poster.
going to hell in a
Might be
bucket.
going to hell in the bucket. Yeah, it looks like Phil Lash paddling, the bucket.
over
Yeah.
a waterfall.
That was
yeah.
cool. I
Yeah,
have
that was
it.
a
And he
great-
made a bunch of those.
Yeah,
And he made
saw
other
that.
ones, but I like that one.
That was
Yeah.
a great piece of art, man.
Yeah. And Louis still has one of those. He still has
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want a print of that, man.
He still has
I
it.
want a print of that, dude. Seriously, dude, that was.
Take a picture of it and you'll have a
I
copy.
made money for gas to go to the next show by selling prints of that, or copies of it, man.
I guess you could have made $1 or $2 for each one.
Hell yeah, dude. And I made gas
Oh,
money.
you have a couple of nice ones that he gave you.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
In your
exactly.
room,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm waiting on my question. I know exactly how I'm gonna answer it because
Yeah.
I can tell you, yeah, man. My favorite piece of art, Frank Zappa drawing he drew me as a gift when he came to
The
visit.
serrated head spinning.
But Uncle
broken-
Meat, the
Yeah,
Uncle
yeah.
Meat picture, yes, exactly. Yeah, and that is a beautiful,
Let me go back to my interview questions.
it was badass.
Alright.
Wow, you should be like a talk show host or
I've
something.
heard shit like that before. Actually,
You
it's funny to
should.
say
Not
that.
really, man. I mean, dude, you got like the intensity going and everything.
I'm just anal.
Yeah.
I what can I tell you?
Well, yeah, and the good questions, but no, I mean, I'm talking like, physically, you got the whole, central scrutinizer thing down,
Well, I mean, I think to be good at it, you have to really be interested. In
Well, no,
what
I know,
you're-
well, the passion.
The passion.
The
You have to have
comes through.
passion.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. We'll get with Andrew when he comes back. So we were talking earlier about how we were in high school, right? And we mentioned we definitely were not we definitely were not mainstream kids. We were listening to pop, we were listening to rock and roll, we were old rock and roll, and you were saying that, oh, the music of the 80s sucked, the music of the 80s sucked. In general, yes, I agree. However, let's not dismiss other bands. The good bands.
Like,
How about 38 Special? How about
okay,
AC/DC?
I'll give you that one.
AC/DC, I mean,
Started
technically,
to
in the
suck
70s,
very
la, la,
early.
la, la, la.
Started
I
to
don't
suck
think
very
they suck.
early in the 80s.
I don't think they suck.
Oh, well, dude.
I don't think they suck. I mean, okay, listen.
Their crowning achievement was, for those about to rock. And then after that, it was just downhill. And that was the 80s. Mind you, that was the 80s.
All right,
But they were great shows.
They were.
I remember
I've
going to
seen
an
them.
AC/DC show and I was almost deaf.
Oh, hell
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no,
Like
no,
your
It was
host,
great.
they're the loudest band in
They're
India.
the
They're from
loudest.
Australia.
It
The loudest
never
band
fails.
in the.
Australia.
How do those guys freaking still hear? Because I'm
They're
telling you.
deaf. They don't hear. They can't. Pete Townsend
Well, how
is
come?
deaf.
How come?
all
Angus-
those guys, all
But
those
you
big
talk.
four-
You were talking about ECDC.
Yeah.
That
No,
is the
Angus Young
loudest
is
freaking
deaf. They're
concert
deaf.
I've ever been to.
They
Yeah.
keep. They have
Well,
all of
Yeah,
them.
I saw
Massive
them.
thing.
Man, John Russell alert. Me and him, speaking of AC/DC concerts, we waited online at Q Records and Tapes on 144th Street in US 1. And we waited online we got there like 2 in the morning. And,
Well, that's
his
how you
mom
used to buy
dropped us
tickets.
off,
You
and
couldn't
we
go
waited-
online and
we
buy
Well,
them.
yeah.
You
I
had to
mean,
get in a line.
You didn't
Well,
have to
see,
say
yeah.
you went online,
You
all
were
right.
physically.
was
You
no
were in line,
Right.
yeah, you
Yeah.
were in
No,
line.
we camped out all.
And you would
camped
stay the
out.
night to be
Yeah.
like the third or first or second. in
Yeah,
line,
but then
right?
if you remember, then they changed it to
Then they
it was
made a
draw.
lottery. Yeah,
They
right.
changed it to a draw.
Which was
But not
bullshit.
always,
That
not
would
always.
cause- That would
Sometimes
cause
it
like a
was
near
First
riot.
come, first served. Yeah.
Yeah, but now scalping's legal. So anyway, we're getting off topic here,
You know,
so
you don't,
let's
you don't
focus.
buy tickets, yeah, that way.
No, it's ridiculous. It's a pain in the ass.
And concerts don't cost
Uh,
$5 or $10 anymore. Or $20. They cost 100, 200,
Yeah,
300.
yeah.
So remember, I was talking that I was saying that all of us were very nostalgic. We listened to the old music. We were old classical rock. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd.
Classic rock, not
Yeah,
classic rock.
but that
Did I
one
say-
thing was-
Whatever, classic rock.
Scully good rock and roll.
I
Still
think
listen
it
to
would
that.
be fair to say that. Well, I'll tell you a funny John story, but you could definitely pick us out of a crowd. Why? Because there we were with the jeans and the boots or the sneakers and the concert shirts or the tie-dye shirts or there's the one hippie hippie bunch.
And
right?
not only that, but all the music we listened to was at least 10 years old at the time. I mean, at least,
Absolutely.
me and John, because I remember John, his favorite band was Pink Floyd.
Well, hell, my
They were
They're
at the
still
time,
my
in
band
the
is-
mid-80s, they
It's the
were 10
Beatles.
years
Come
old.
on, the
They were
Beatles came
15
out 5 years
old.
before I was born. So.
Exactly, right. But back then, it was, and actually we all wore it as a badge of honor. that we listen to, you know, actually what would be called good music, and and it's like, listen, I don't care what's popular, I listen to this.
Right. But we all have that in common.
Oh
We
yeah,
all like the same
exactly.
music.
Yeah.
If you saw me, if you can picture in your mind me 30
No, I do, actually,
years
it's
ago,
hard-
I mean, do you even hear that come out of my mouth? Yeah, 30.
It's hard picturing you now, because I still remember the one that was on the motorcycle that did a wheelie and fell on your ass.
30. Gee, thanks, Chris.
Hey, it was a funny sight,
It
man.
was I had a slipping clutch on that motorcycle.
Nobody got hurt. Worse things
Well,
have happened
my
at
ass
sea.
got hurt. 'Cause
I know, and what an ass it was back then. I mean, come on. Oh, well, not that, oh, come on.
Oh,
No,
Chris,
no,
shut
no,
up.
no,
You're
no.
sinking yourself, man. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were to describe me back then as somebody who didn't know me, and John and I as a couple, what would you say?
And I was describing you too.
To whoever, can be describing me to Andrew.
Is
Me
you,
me and
as
John and
you
me and John
together,
as a couple.
when you were together?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, actually, it was kind of an odd mismatch. It really,
You really think so?
yeah.
In
yeah.
what way?
The fact that John was more of like, you know, he was a freak. You know, I mean, a freak.
Well,
I mean,
elaborate,
There was freaks,
elaborate.
And then there was freaks. And, you know, you're the freak that would put, like, stable and whatnot. Whereas John was the unstable freak. Like myself and a bunch of us. And, yeah. It's just-
And of course, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what were you like? The hell is she babysitting him? Is she taking care of him? Is she?
Hell no.
I
We
mean-
were all, you know, we were slapping him high fives, low fives, Dave Clark fives. Man, dude, you got a hot girlfriend, man. I mean, come on.
But when you said that we were mismatched,
Well, not mismatched. Sorry, that's a harsh term, actually. No, that's a harsh term. Actually, it was actually a funny thing because we used to.
well, no, because if you, like you said, you're a freak, but you're a normal kind of freak. John's a freak.
Well, no, I included myself in the
Well,
John
that's
category.
fine. That's fine. You don't have to put disclaimers in. I'm
No,
trying to
that's-
get at something.
Well, no, okay, yeah.
What differences did you see between us that made us different?
What is John?
But just like the whole stability thing.
Stability in what way?
Well, just, I mean, mentally stable. Mentally stable, because, and, well, no, actually, no, the best way to put it would be, more real life oriented. 'Cause
Okay,
a lot
that's
of
a
us
good
were-
explanation.
Yeah,
I
was
agree.
struggling for
I
that
agree.
one there, because
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out the best way to explain it. Real life oriented, whereas some of us were like, our own universe oriented, and John was one of those. And God bless him, man, because I am too. And
No, absolutely. I
really
think
was.
John was. I would have given anything if I could have just for 1 minute gotten inside his head to know what he was thinking and what he was feeling. And what I mean by that is here's this wonderfully talented individual that could either go into business for himself with his artwork or teach.
or, be a famous rock star. I mean, dude, I mean.
I would hold more into teaching and going into business
Well,
for
either
himself,
way, I mean,
or
he was
doing
talented.
commercial art or whatever
He was
it
a
was.
very talented individual.
You know, here's someone who's I would have given my left arm to be able to have that talent. That is something that I've always wanted to be able to do. Was
Yeah.
to just sit down and draw and draw and draw and have it be perfect and intricate and detailed.
And then pick up a guitar and shred
Exactly,
away.
exactly.
That's incredible.
So those are some pretty amazing gifts, but on the other hand, you had this person who couldn't focus, seems like didn't want to grow up. The other half of him is trying to grow up. You know, I always saw concentrated efforts at that one particular go in time. For example, before his first good John visit back in 2012, he was going to be doing this program for the hearing impaired. Do you remember what I'm talking about? No? Okay. I mean, he just had a plan. A plan about staying straight.
He always did.
A plan about getting a
And
job.
you know, and
A
then,
plan
you know
about,
what?
you know.
But that's the sad thing, man. That's the sad thing, man. And this includes myself, but that's the sad thing. You know, addicts and stuff like that, they always have a plan, and they're gonna do it tomorrow. And that's the way it was. I mean, it's like, hey, I got this great idea, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. And, you know, that's just the way it works.
Procrastination.
Well, just, you know, they know what they want to do, but
But
there's
the intent,
something takes you over, though, man.
the
I mean,
intent
trust me.
is genuine.
I know the intent is genuine, but, you know, the
No results.
the flesh is willing, but the spirit isn't able, or, you know, vice versa, or, you know, whatever, however you want to put it.
Do you remember the Nancy Reagan, Just Say No?
Oh God, that was the downfall of that and AIDS, or what I remember about the AIDS, man. I mean, hey, well, okay, I'm sitting up straight.
It's going like this.
Well, no, I was comfortable, man. I was comfortable.
Chris is having. Okay, so.
Nancy Reagan and AIDS, or what?
No, it wasn't
and Huey
AIDS, it
Lewis.
was Just Say No.
And Just Say No.
Right, Just Say
Really fucked me up. Just 3 words to fuck me up. Just say no.
Do you remember those, they handed out those buttons at school, Just Say No?
Oh, absolutely.
And like, it's a joke we went through with the liquid paper, and we would white out the Just Say No and would write in yes, and we'll wear them around.
Nobody bothered with that.
I never
That
did
was
that.
for other people. No, we didn't bother with that shit.
The program
No, we
was
completely ignored it.
Was a complete
It was stupid.
failure.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was, you know.
But
Propaganda.
to be quite honest, I did cry at Nancy Reagan, or when I heard she died.
Oh, yeah, the
I
day
felt
she
really
died.
bad about that.
I watched the funeral.
Mm.
If anybody benefited from that program, it was a small majority of people. But overall, it was a huge failure. God bless the First Lady.
Well, forget
and-
about that. What about selling bombs to Iran? The whole
Come on, man.
administration
We
was a
can't,
disaster.
Hey,
That's
you're
just
going
one
down-
little
you're going down the wrong line.
piece of
I-
it.
yeah,
The
no, I
Reagan
know.
administration
Yeah.
nearly wrecked the country.
Yeah, you're going
Just
down
like
the wrong
Bush.
line of code.
I see
Bush
what's okay.
almost
Moving
finished
right
the job.
along.
Yeah, right.
The
All
point
Republicans are they just want to tear the country down. That's it.
being, the point being,
Yeah, you're going
Yeah.
the
Don't go there. Yeah.
okay, who
John
was,
knew
who
this.
was influential during our time? The people that we idolized, all right? Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
They were dead already. Yeah,
John-
but we liked them. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
The
those
point being, okay, so you have who? John Bonham, Bon
They
Scott.
also, they all
Uh,
died. Yeah, those were
I
all
said
dead.
John
You
Belushi,
mentioned
right?
the dead guys.
Oh, these are
Jim
all the dead
Morrison.
people.
You mentioned
Morrison?
you mentioned
Right.
the dead guys.
Okay,
yeah.
The point being, what I
Except
was
James.
trying to get at is
There was very
Every
few
single one of
idols,
them-
good ones. There was you had Billy Idol. We had no Jim Morrison. We had Billy Idol. We had.
That's what.
We got ripped off.
That's what pisses me off about the
The point
80s, man.
was, if our idols couldn't prevent us
We had shitty ones.
from doing
No,
drugs,
we had good ones, man.
They were doing
Billy
drugs.
Idol's a shit.
They were the ones that you look at Billy Idol. Look at him. He looked like a junkie.
And he
Look at him.
was.
He
a
was.
Major, dude, major.
It was very pop. Cocaine was very big in the
I'm
80s.
very, very big.
I'm talking about
And he got kicked
the
out of
rock
Thailand.
stars we did idolize.
Oh,
Yeah,
died.
they were even bigger.
If
than
that wasn't enough to deter us
Oh,
from
no.
using drugs,
No, that made
you
it
know
more
what?
cool.
It made
That
it more cool. That's what
right?
it was.
My point
It
being
made
is,
it-
why would you think that Nancy Reagan's
No, that's,
you know,
no. That's,
just say no was
well,
gonna
look,
work? If that wasn't enough,
Nobody
you-
thought it was going to work.
I mean, come on.
It didn't,
I mean, when
and
it
nobody
comes
thought
down-
it would.
When you
But
hear
it justified their position, was to just jail people, mostly black people, and throw them in jail,
when
you know, for crack.
when
you
you're
know.
Nancy, when your average 15-year-old kid who's thinking about smoking pot, he pictures Nancy Reagan on one side, or he pictures
even
Led
think it.
Zeppelin
Yeah.
on the other. Well, what are you gonna do?
I never even thought about her.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, man. I
It was
mean,
a joke.
hell,
It was a
you got a
joke.
47, I'd go with Zeppelin.
Yeah. It was a joke then, and it's a joke now. Okay.
okay, so you have no, you can't think of this for Andrew, a really funny John story that you love to tell, like, hey John, remember the time that you?
Well, I remember the time we went in Orlando, we were there, because Harry was, I think, was also there. This other guy. It wasn't so funny because of what John did, because what
Oh, no.
Harry did. Because Harry was all drunk and, just being with him,
So what did he do?
He farted so bad that he didn't just clear out the hotel room we were in, which had like 10 people in it. The people next door got out of their hotel room. They were like, "What happened? You know, what did somebody spill a barrel of shit? You know?"
Okay, and I take it this was in a bad intestinal
And then
leftovers in the restroom. This was actually.
no, Harry was known to have got bowel problems, to say the least.
Okay, I definitely wouldn't be sharing. a
Oh,
room
but
with
yeah,
him.
well,
Oh,
everybody
Harry.
was in the hallway, and we came back like 15 minutes later. Well, no, you can't. You can't. It's too soon. It's too soon. I mean, it was like bad. Yeah, that was funny. The people were like, "No way!" You know, it's gotta be gone. You know.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Because we were all sleeping in one hotel room.
But that's not really a John story. Well, I mean,
John
he
was
was there.
there.
Yeah, that's.
Everybody was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, Chris was there. Louis was there. Matt. Everybody. Russell, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Russell was there.
Harry.
Yeah.
Oh, the time. Oh, yeah. Tell the Mavis story. That was John.
Oh, yeah.
John could tell a story about me. That was another thing, because I impressed John once with the way
Yes, he did.
the way I dispensed with Tom Roman.
Yes, he
Yeah.
dispensed
At the
fat
Orlando
on it.
shows, we had a room, and we didn't have room for Tom. Tom was there, and he looked like you had dragged him behind a car in the rain for 2 hours. That's how he looked. He didn't look good, and he
No.
was with Mavis, which was like this 400-pound woman that had like 2 kids under each arm, walking around. You know, it was quite the scene. And they're like, give us a ride to the Georgia border, like to a town that's like, like,
Where my angry biker husband
yeah, and we had all been
awaits.
drinking, we were doing that, we're partying, we're, high and everything, and we're like, no. And they were going to ask everybody has, and they told me to tell them, look, we
That's
can't.
funny, why?
Nobody wanted to tell them, hey, look, we can't help, and they had told them, but they weren't getting,
Shit, I'm sorry.
they weren't getting the message.
Sorry about that.
And So, you know, the way I told him, bluntly, you know, John seemed to like it. Yeah. All right. Well, there goes my story. This guy's throwing potato chips right in the middle of it. Okay. Tell me when you're done. All right.
I was trying to be nice, but
Okay,
yeah,
Mr.
that-
Comedian.
Chris goes like,
All right.
it's like, here,
I'm done.
have some.
I'm
And then I
done.
was gonna reach my hand to you.
Well, no, I realized it would be
Look at
too
you,
hard.
poured them
but
all.
Your hand wouldn't have, you couldn't have read, there wasn't many left, man. It's
Well,
like-
now there's none left.
Oh, please
No,
save
she's
this.
got 'em
Don't,
right
don't edit this. This was good.
Okay, hilarious.
It will be later when you.
I'll buy you this can of Pringles, dude. I'm sorry, man.
Just don't throw them on the floor.
I didn't. I will
Okay.
pick up the crumbs. I will watch me now.
Alright, well, and now we gotta film all this?
Hey,
I'm
come
fine.
on.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
Don't be a douchebag.
No, just be cool.
I am, dude. I am.
Okay.
No, you're throwing potato chips on the
Andrew, I'm
No,
gonna I'm gonna
taking
get us out of
potato
here.
chips up off the
I
floor,
promise.
dude. Come on, man.
Okay.
Let me just see if I have anything else for you.
I thought we were doing this. It ain't dinner time.
I mean, shit, after the fucking lagoon of fucking spilled beer you left in my room, man.
Alright,
Come
but
on.
still, we're doing this now, right? If you're hungry, I'll get you something to eat, you know?
I did. I just grabbed I was just trying to grab a couple potato chips, man.
Can I ask?
That's okay.
This is a serious question. A serious person.
Well,
Very.
wait for him to finish
Personal
eating,
question.
and then we'll, you
Well,
know.
it's
Dude,
actually
don't be
for
a douchebag, man.
for you.
What?
Don't be a douchebag, man.
What?
And if you don't mind answering, you don't have to. Just say, I don't want to talk about it. So obviously, going out and partying depends on
What?
who you ask terminology as to what it is. Partying to me, you go out, you have you go out, you have a drink, you get drunk, whatever, smoke weed, whatever you have. Were you ever involved in anything else? Anything like John
Partying?
was?
Yeah, everybody partied a lot. Yeah, Coke,
Mhm.
whatever. We did everything, all the time. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have heroin in common with John?
No, I never did heroin with John. Never. But I knew he did it. Yeah.
Did it?
It never affected my relationship with him, with me, with him at all. It never did. Yeah.
Did it concern you?
Well,
I mean,
when
did
his
you
arms looked like shit, when he had, like, his arm was swollen, I was like, dude, you ought to get that checked out or fixed, whatever. But he did, you know. Yeah, I was concerning to see that, but, then it got better.
Did you think?
I suspected, yes, that he could OD. When he died from ODing, I was very sad, deeply saddened, but I wasn't surprised a bit,
Right.
really. I didn't,
And it had
I
to.
didn't think it was like, oh, that could never happen.
Right.
Yeah, it's sad. It's an epidemic. It's very sad. Yes. Right.
Does it seem like you can relate to that state of mind of being so addicted to something?
Well, yeah, because I've been addicted to other things. Yeah, I have really bad, but I stopped it. I just helped a friend through an addiction get over it. Yeah, just recently. Another
So you
friend.
help a friend, you did it yourself too.
He did it. He couldn't go to a rehab because he didn't have the money, and the doctor didn't really want to do it. He had to do it at home, and it was an opioid, but it's not heroin. But it's just as bad, almost worse. He said he'd quit heroin, and this was worse. And so yeah, just recently.
What was it?
I don't even know the name of it. Some weird opioid that he got it online. It's not licensed in the United. It's one of these drugs you can get on the internet. And he got it, and it says habit forming. Watch out, and yeah, it makes you feel really good for a while, and then he.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like heroin. It's like heroin, but it's not heroin.
Right.
It's an opiate, and not some other. And somehow you can get it online. You call them up and the envelope's there like day after tomorrow, you know?
So you feel that you did have issues at one time, and how did you overcome?
I like my friend did it, just cold turkey. You just stop. You just do it. You make up your mind and you just stop. That's it, and it's over. And you feel like crap for 3 days, 4 days, a week, however long it is. And then you get better, you feel better, and that's it.
But you did it on your own.
Yeah, I've done it on my own, yeah.
With no help. With
No help at all.
Unsupervised.
No, yeah. But see, I never addicted to heroin, you know, and I've never been super like alcoholic either. You know, when you probably need help, you know. But like pills, you know.
So if
You can
say I'm an addict and I want to quit, and I ask you, Andrew, what would be your advice to me? I really want to quit. It's in my mind.
I would say, stop telling me and do it. Don't tell me. Tell me I quit. Don't tell me I'm gonna quit. Say, tell me after you did it. Make up your mind and do it. You know, don't talk about it. You know, if you need help, you know, if you're talking about it to ask for help, okay. But if you're gonna do it, do it. And then if you don't make up your mind, like with cigarettes or something like that, if you're doing it like because another reason, your friend, your family, whatever, you're not gonna do it. You won't. It will be a lot harder. You have to do it because you want to do it for yourself, or else it won't work. And if you do it, once your mind is made up, then it'll happen. It'll happen.
I'm out of here.
That was intense.
Getting too intense for Chris. All right, let's see.
Well, we got a lot of stuff.
We
They'll
did
be
get a
able.
lot
They'll
of
be
stuff.
able to use. I'm sure some of it.
But I wanted
And
to,
it ain't a movie
especially
about
that.
us. I would think
Right,
that
right.
this is going to be a little part of something.
It is.
You know.
It is.
Right.
And
they're not
believe
going to
me,
take
I
up
didn't even
20
touch.
minutes with us.
I didn't even.
Might be like a 5 or 10.
No, it's little blurbs probably.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
if
little
any of it.
blurbs through the whole thing.
Yeah,
It will.
that's what I figured, you know.
Like I said, we have.
What's
We
up? That
still have a
camera's on.
lot. We
That
still
camera's
have
I'm not touching it, man.
tons
I'm
to
cool.
go. Tons to go. We've only barely broken the ice, so we're good.
Cool. No, it's cool. No, I mean, like you said, get as much Andrew as you can while we're here,
We're
you
much
know.
amateur, right?
Yeah.
But we're good.
No, I like it.
Okay, well.
We talked about the basics that I have done. You talked about what you had in common with John. You